steps in, all ready to get us underway tonight. And Fausto Carmona's first pitch is a fastball for a strike. 82 degrees, our game time temperature tonight here in downtown Cleveland. Outside to even the count of 1-1. Denard Span coming off a year in which he batted .308 combined between AAA and the big leagues.
Well, really opened up so many eyes over in Minnesota when Kadire got hurt. This young man stepped into the right field position and won it, is what he did, and ended up leading off. He has a very good eye at the plate. Gomez was their leadoff hitter last year. They ended up moving this young man up and took it over and had a very, very solid year for the Twins.
1-2 pitch, hammered but foul. Last year, Denard Span batted .299 against right-handed pitching, .283 against lefties. His home runs, 3 against the lefties, 3 against the righties.
Well, that'll come. You don't worry about home runs. He's a very good defensive player. He can cover a lot of ground. His job is to get on base, hit the gap, hit triples. He's one of those, I guess you would say, a typical Minnesota player in that dome and on that turf. Makes a lot of things happen.
Span has hit in 4 straight games for Minnesota. 6 for his last 16 during this tear. Again, the 1-2. Bouncer, and it gets past Cabrera. So Span aboard to start the game for Minnesota. And he has 3 stolen bases to lead the club.
Well, nothing you can do about that. You're a sinker ball pitcher. You get your ground ball, and you know how many times did we talk about it with Laffey the other night in Kansas City. He had his 5 double plays when he was in there. This ball found a hole. An easy ground ball placed perfectly for Span, so he will start the game off with a base hit.
It'll bring up Alexi Casilla, who is struggling offensively, 0 for his last 13. DeRosa pinches in on the grass at third, and Carmona's first pitch is outside.
For Carmona, his last start against the Twins came right here in this ballpark, July 26th. He was making that first start since coming off the disabled list, and it was not a good outing for Fausto. Allowed 6 runs in the first inning. Remember how pumped up he was to get back?
Yeah.
He ended up going 2 1/3 innings. 7 hits and 9 runs allowed in that start. That's after he came off the deal with that hip problem. But in his career, 3-3 against the Twins.
He's fallen behind 2-0 to Casilla here. Casilla switch hitter. And taking 3-0. Just the 6th road game on the year for Minnesota. They've lost 4 out of 5 away from the Dome to this point. A 3-0 pitch is on the outside corner. See how aggressively the Twins play this with the speedy Span at first.
Why not? Go ahead. Gardenhire, I believe, will start him. Casilla's got a good enough eye. If it's ball 4, he'll take it.
He goes.
Sure, start him.
And he finds a hole, but closing the gap is Cabrera. They'll get the out at first.
Well, as Garco at first, he's got to try and go for that ball, so he dives and just misses it. But it's a nice play by Cabrera, and Carmona is over there to cover. That's the nice thing about it. He didn't get caught up in watching that play. Gets over there. Carmona gets the first out. His second ground ball. This one not hit as sharply, and they're able to retire Casilla.
But for all intents and purposes, Casilla does his job getting Span into scoring position for the meat of the order. Justin Morneau steps in. Leads the Twins with the 3 homers. He's driven in 11 on the year so far.
A spot that is normally occupied by Joe Mauer, the batting champion. He usually hits third, and Morneau is in the number 4 hole. And Joe Mauer out on a rehab assignment. I think he's down in Florida rehabbing. He's got that back problems. He's had some back problems that he could possibly be back in about a week.
He missed a lot of spring training with that injury, and that certainly had Ron Gardenhire feeling a bit uneasy. You're talking about one of their best players, if not their best overall hitter. There's a fastball for a strike. What does Joe Mauer mean to the Twins?
Now, career at 317. I mean, he's just in that number 3. It was a tough out. But not only that, I mean, offensively, he's very good. He does a great job handling the pitching staff, throwing out runners. They're having problems throwing the baseball, so Eric Wedge may get aggressive on the bases with some of his guys. He just brings that presence, the middle part of the presence, that leadership to that lineup. A lot like, you know, what Victor and Hafner brought last year when they were out.
1-2 the count on Morneau here, with Denard Span at second base. First inning just underway, 1 away. Now the 1-2, way outside. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morneau, a former 3rd-round pick out of high school in Canada in 1999. Good pitch by Carmona there, and he takes care of Justin Morneau for out number 2.
Looks like Carmona changes up on him.
Sure did.
80s, that's pretty, look at, yeah, it's deep in his hand. 87 miles per hour, that's a pretty good changeup. That's harder than some guys' fastballs.
Well, and as you said, you know, one of the things you were hoping to see is for Carmona to back off a little bit at times.
Right, and that was a perfect time to doing it to a very good hitter.
He had a fastball in that at bat that was 95, so the changeup at 87, quite a bit of separation.
Well, with the pretty good arm speed, the same arm speed.
Yeah.
You know, and how many times have we talked about it when you get in situations where the inning starts speeding up and guys start hitting the ball, they sit and look for that fastball. And when you back off, it takes them off something. It gives them just a little more to think about.
Evens the count of 1-1 on Kubel with Joe Creedy on deck. A little bit too high. 2 balls and a strike. Jason Kubel was born in South Dakota, but more or less he grew up in Southern California after the family moved when he was very young. Twins took him with a 12th-round pick back in 2000. Lines one down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball, and it's going to get by Francisco. Span scores. Kubel into second with an RBI double. A 2-out hit puts the Twins in front 1-0. And Carmona's first inning woes continue.
Well, the Twins were the best at it last year. They hit 268 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, which was the best. They hit 305, which led the league. And this is something they did very, very well. You see, that's a good approach by Jason Kubel, going the other way on a sinker. Didn't try and do too much. A big base hit, and now he's going to make Carmona work that much harder to get out of the first. 6 runs now allowed in the first inning, and this is only start number 5 for Carmona.
Here's Joe Creedy, the longtime Chicago White Sox third baseman who's battled back problems throughout his career. But the Twins were in need of a third baseman and decided to take a flyer on him.
Well, they know him well, playing in the Central Division. I'm sure he's done some damage to him before. He's an excellent third baseman when healthy. You know, Gold Glove caliber. He's got some pop in the bat, but the key is healthy.
Really got in his kitchen. Carmona will throw him out, and the inning is over. But the Twins strike first. They lead it 1-0. Now Grady Sizemore in the Indians offense coming to bat. Let's check out the Indians starting 9, brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Grady Sizemore, Mark DeRosa, and Victor Martinez at the top. Travis Hafner heating up in the cleanup spot, followed by Johnny Peralta, Shin-Soo Choo, Ryan Garco, Ben Francisco, and Asdrubal Cabrera.
Nick Blackburn making his 4th start as well, looking for win number 1. 5.71 ERA, 22 hits in his 17 1/3 innings. It's been a week since he's pitched, and he's a sinker ball pitcher. So you look for him early in the game. He may be a little strong. In his 23 career road starts, or excuse 23 road games, 20 starts, he is just 3-11. He has not had a whole lot of luck on the road.
Grady fouls it away down the left side. Grady Sizemore hit that 6th home run yesterday to propel the Indians to a 5-2 win over Kansas City. Called strike inside corner. Good pitch at 94 miles an hour. Let's check out our Firestone League leaders. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Grady Sizemore driving him in at a very good clip to start the year. That pitch missed. 2-2 the count. Blackburn with a 2-2 now. And it missed low. Full count. Grady Sizemore is already on pace to have a monster year offensively, coming off an incredible year with the bat. Here's the payoff pitch. And one hopper that almost ate up Alexi Casilla, but he hung with it and throws him out.
Well, in the first inning, Cabrera going for Span's base hit that got through, and it looked like he hurt his wrist. He landed on it funny. Looked like the glove got caught underneath him. You can see Lonnie Soloff.
Might have been his fingers.
Could have been
Maybe
one of his
jammed a
fingers,
finger,
his
huh?
hand, his wrist. It's something in that left hand area or the fingers. You're absolutely right. May have bent one back.
Mark DeRosa steps in. 212 average, 3 homers, 15 runs batted in. For now, Cabrera seems to be fine. Takes a strike, evens the count. DeRosa trying to snap an 0 for 9. Nick Blackburn out of Norman, Oklahoma. 6'4", 220-pound right-hander. Twins drafted him in the 29th round out of Seminole Junior College in Oklahoma back in 01. Misses outside. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. Blackburn has been a guy who all throughout his career has never been one who's thrown up gaudy numbers. But he may just be the classic late bloomer. DeRosa sends a fly ball to fairly deep right. Kadire will make it just in front of the warning track. 2 down.
Well, let's set that Twins defense for you now that we have an opportunity in the outfield from left to right. It's Young, Span, Kadire. On the infield from third to first, it's Credy, Punto, Casilla, Morneau, with Morales behind the plate.
Now comes to bat the sizzling hot Victor Martinez. Batting .439 over his last 10 games. With 2 doubles, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in during that time. And seemingly every ball he has hit has been squarely off the barrel.
Well, let's put it this way. He hasn't been fooled a whole lot this year. He's put a good swing on just about everything. He's had, was it yesterday, an 11-pitch at bat where he's, fouled off some tough pitches and stayed alive. And
Blackburn catches the outside corner, and that evens the count at 1-1.
You can tell when a hitter's in a pretty good groove just sometimes by the way he takes a pitch. And when Victor's taking a pitch now, if it's a strike, he doesn't care. He knows he's going to get something to hit in that at bat. His confidence is flowing.
1-2 the count now. It always seems like when a hitter's going well, they don't mind hitting with 2 strikes.
Yeah, they're not afraid. Let's put it this way. They're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. When you're struggling and you're not seeing the baseball, you're afraid. You think you need all 3. Look at that.
Ropes it into the right field corner. Ball boy says, look out, here it comes. Martinez on his way to second. Kadire's got a great arm, but it's not going to be in time.
He caught up to about a 94-mile-an-hour sinker right there and turned on it to keep it in the line. That's how well Victor is swinging it. That's what we talked about. You're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes? Go ahead and try and run that cheese by him inside. It didn't work. He brought the slicer out and knocked it down the first baseline. So for Victor, that's double number 4. Indians' first hit. Now they'll have an opportunity with 2 outs to try and get on the board.
It will bring up Travis Hafner. Hafner had a big hit in that rally yesterday in the bottom of the 8th, coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. He singled into right field.
Caught an 0-2 hanging breaking ball.
Sure did.
Is what he did, and that's one of the few hanging pitches that Gilmesh had. It's hard to believe that he got the loss in yesterday's game, but he did, as well as he pitched.
Not to slight Hafner in any manner, but you do wonder, at what point did Mesh start running out of gas?
That's hard to say because he had retired 16 consecutive hitters before going out in the 8th inning.
But that was an 8th inning that took the steam out of him without a doubt. Throwback, not even close. At one point in that 8th inning, the trainers went out to check on Mesh because you remember he had to come off the mound and field the bunt of Francisco. He was hunched over behind the mound with his hands on his knees. But it was Ron Mayhay who gave up the big 3-run homer to Grady Sizemore that was the difference in the ballgame. 1-0 to Hafner, way outside.
Well, this year, the Indians hitting just 149 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They were 0 for 7 against Kansas City. But that's it's a stat that's going to go up, and it's going to go up because it's sometimes you just run into spells like that. Unfortunately, the Indians got started off on the wrong foot.
Outside again, 3-0. The right-handed hitting Johnny Peralta waits on deck, and if you didn't know better, you'd swear Blackburn was just pitching around Hafner right here. Peralta is 0 for 15 right now. So it may be that Blackburn's just going to take his chances unless he can get Hafner to chase one. He does catch the outside corner here. 3-1 the count. I've heard managers say in the past that when a guy's working around a hitter, that 3-0 strike can be the worst thing that happens to a pitcher. It gives him a sense that he's back in the at-bat.
That's right.
Let's see if he challenges Hafner here. Fouled away, full count. Looks like he's coming after him. Hafner's hit in 5 straight games, 7 hits in his last 19 at-bats. Trying to tie the game here with a base hit. And a 3-2 slashed foul. Tonk does a good job to spoil a pitch right there. He's hit in 11 of his last 13 games overall. He's 1 homer shy of 10th place on the Indians' all-time dinger list. 1 behind Joe Carter. And the payoff. High fly ball, center field, span back, onto the track, and makes the catch. Came up a little short. And after an inning of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Indians nothing. All on Sports Time Ohio is brought to you in part by Continental Airlines, official airline of the Cleveland Indians. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. By McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, all made to order with fresh ground espresso beans. And by All Care Dental and Dentures, we make seeing the dentist easy. Fausto Carmona's first pitch here in inning number 2 to Michael Kadire is in there for a strike. Kadire hitting just .207 to start the year for Minnesota. Gorgeous night here in downtown Cleveland. Game time temperature 82 degrees. Pretty good breeze blowing out tonight. Wind's coming up out of the south a little bit. The 1-1. And Carmona gets ahead.
Kadire missed 80 games last year on the DL. He had that lacerated right index finger. Started in early April. And then strained the left tendon. So it was a tough year for Michael Kadire, who is, that right-handed hitter that was supposed to protect Mauer and Morneau.
Carmona gets his second strikeout. One down here in the second inning. Check out our injury report brought to you by the law firm of Nuremberg, Paris. Ohio's injury lawyer since 1928. Call 1-800-399-2300. Here you get a look at the Indians' disabled list, and for Minnesota, Mauer, and then a couple of pitchers, Crane and Bonzer. Here is Delman Young. Twins left fielder batting .229. Fouled out of play. Rick, I thought it was interesting. I'm just thinking back to when I was at the winter meetings back in December, and Ron Gardenhire was asked a lot by the media, what are you going to do with Delman Young? Are you guys going to trade him? Because Gardenhire had come out and talked about the Twins outfield and how he was looking at Span and Gomez and Kadire, and he didn't mention Delman Young, and everyone just immediately jumped to the conclusion that Delman Young was out. But Ron Gardenhire was quick to say, hey, you need everybody. I didn't mean to exclude him. He said it was just something, it just didn't come to the top of my head while I was speaking at that moment.
Right.
He said everybody's jumping to this conclusion that suddenly this guy's out and we're going to get rid of him.
Yeah, you got to be careful, don't you? He uses his players well. He's a good manager, and he takes that team, and people thought that this team was not going to be competitive in 09 because all their young 08, because of their young starters, and they were anything but. Consistently went out there day in and day out, and I'll tell you what, if you know anything about the Twins organization, they're going to battle you for 27 outs. They'll never make excuses, and they play the game the way it should be, hard.
I also talked to Gardenhire about the Indians-Twins rivalry, and he said, hey, I love it. I love it, the fact that Wedgie and I will yell at each other during a game and the players get into it. He said that's what makes it fun, that it is an intense rivalry.
And they do yell at each other. We've seen that.
Check swing, called strike.
And it's very evenly matched when it comes down to it over the course of the year. These two teams battle, and this will be their last year in the Metrodome, where they really have a home field advantage, I believe.
Broke his bat, it's not unlike. As Drupal Cabrera throws him out. And a quick 1-2-3 second for Fausto Carmona. Twins on top, 1-0. For those of you who would just rather keep it here rather than flip back and forth, we'll keep you updated on the score. Cavs and Pistons knotted up at the end of one at the Palace at Auburn Hills up in Michigan.
Cavs trying to go up 3-0. There is nobody yet 3-0 in the series because the Lakers lost last night.
Yeah, my buddy Bird was telling me that Boston and Chicago, you know how close those first two games were in Boston.
Yes.
Boston went to
wasn't even close.
Chicago and whacked them.
Spanked them.
Yeah.
They just wiped them off the floor.
The 0-1 to Peralta. Caught the inside corner. And the count 0-2 on Johnny. Johnny got off to a quick start this year, but he's just hit an early season skid that he can't seem to snap out of.
Well,
right
you
now.
know what? When Johnny, it's almost like he's in a pull mode. It seems like he's out in front, or he's just. Johnny's a guy that goes the other way so well. When he stays back on the baseball, they're just tying him up.
Takes care of him with the strikeout, one down. It's BOGO time at Alvin's Jewelers. Now through Mother's Day, buy one piece of jewelry, get the second piece free. Support a Cleveland-owned family jeweler. Visit alvinsjewelers.com. All right, here comes Shin-Soo Choo. Choo's driven in 4 runs over his last 5 games. Shot it back foul. Choo's just been sort of steadily going along. He hasn't really had one of those hot spells yet, but he also hasn't had to endure a long slump either.
No, he's been swinging the bat well. He's covered the plate. I say good plate coverage because he's been hitting the ball to left center field and over. He's been using the whole field.
Yeah.
And you know what? And the weather, this is the first warm day I think we've had other than when we were down in Texas. You know, it's no fun to hit in the cold weather. It's actually no fun to pitch either. But with days like this, he may have a big weekend.
Back to the mound, had him reaching for it. He's an easy out here, 2 away. Check out tonight's Alltel text poll question of the game. How many home runs do you think Grady Sizemore will hit this season? Will it be 36 or more? Between 30 and 35 where he was last year? Below that, way below that, or really way below that? Text your answer to 31962. Results coming up later in the game.
Well, he has 6 right now.
Off to a blistering pace. There's Ryan Garco with 2 down and the bases empty.
I tried to find Iggy down there at third base. I see it, pal. He was hiding.
Not easy to hide.
There he is. He was hiding like a Twinkie. Look at him.
The 0-1. Garco with a hit in 5 of his last 6 games. Bounces it to short. Punto will throw him out. And the Indians go 1-2-3. 2 in the books from Progressive Field. It's Minnesota 1, Cleveland nothing. All righty. Whoa, what's with the Go Twins go?
Oh, she'll knock her out.
Rival fans,
yes,
rival signs. I like it. 1-0 in favor of Minnesota here as we go to inning number 3. And Nick Punto, the leadoff man, takes a called strike. Back out of play. Nick Punto was originally a 21st round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in 1998 out of junior college in California. Came to the Twins in the Eric Milton trade. Up high. Punto and Carlos Silva.
You know, a guy that just goes out there, he can play third, he can play short, he can play second. He's a scrapper. I mean, and he just fits in. He fits in very well.
Two balls and 2 strikes to count on Punto. Batting .238 to start the year. Full count. Carmona started the inning with 35 pitches through the first 2. Nick Blackburn had 34, so both guys on about the same pace to start the game. And it's high and wide, ball 4. He walks the leadoff man, his first free pass of the night.
You know, that's not good when you've got a number 9 hitter down 0-2. Progressive Field Party Suites are perfect for entertaining clients, rewarding employees, or hosting a family celebration. You'll enjoy premium service, food, and beverages. Call 216-420-HITS to book your party suite today.
All right, so here's Denard Span. Who had a base hit his first time up. And Carmona misses outside for ball 1. Denard Span, another one of those talented athletes to come out of the Tampa high school or the Tampa, Florida area. At one time he attended the same high school. It was the alma mater of Dwight Gooden and Gary Sheffield. But he transferred to Tampa Catholic High, mostly because of football. He was an all-state wide receiver in high school.
They've got some good football down there as well.
Yeah, you're not a kid.
Yes, indeed.
Twins made him a number 1 pick back in 2002. And made his major league debut last year. One, bounced it, foul.
Cost him a bat. You know, Tommy just gave me a note, and we talked about this in the open about Fausto, you know, having his first inning problems and things like that. When you look at him, opposition hits .348 off him the first time through the lineup. Second time, it goes in half. It goes to 174. Usually it's, you know, the other way around. They'll start getting used to what you're throwing and maybe pick it up, but not for Fausto.
Why do you think the discrepancy?
I think he falls behind too many hitters. He's got to straighten it out and throw too many strikes, and then you see it picks back up in the third.
He settles down maybe
yeah,
by the middle innings?
Well, he's a little erratic, and we've seen it early. He's given up 6 first-inning runs, and it just hard to say. You know, that's why they say once a good starter settles in, and if you're going to get a starter, usually you'll try and get him in the first 2 innings. I don't know if it's preparation, if it's a mental thing. I guess it's hard to figure out. I mean, if Carl Willis had it, if Eric Wedge had it, they'd tweak it. They know what it is. It's just one of those things right now that Fausto's going to have to learn to battle with and get through it.
Two balls, 2 strikes to count on Span. Another throw over. Trying to keep Punto close. He does have 1 steal on the year. Denard Span was no instant overnight success. I mean, he's battled for quite some time in the Twins minor league system. He had LASIK eye surgery back in 2008. Felt that helped him to see the ball better.
Oh, that'll work.
A tag there for 1. The throw to first, a double play. Nice job by Cabrera. I mean, Punto and the ball got there almost at the same time, and Cabrera, not only did he have to make the tag, but he had to hold on and then right himself and throw to first.
Rightfully so. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it because Punto, a middle infielder, he knows as a base runner your job is to either stop and not let the guy tag you. Maybe he felt he could beat it, and then he went at him hard. Cabrera was ready for impact, held onto it with 2 hands, and throws it to first for the double play. Nicely done.
Alexi Casilla takes a strike. Nothing dirty about the way Punto went in there.
Not at all. No, he didn't throw a bad elbow or anything. And that's your job as a base runner, to knock it out. They expect that as middle infielders or as second baseman.
It was no Albert Bell versus Fernando Vina, I'll tell you that much. Inning over. Double play ball helps Carmona. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 1-0 Minnesota. In favor of the Twins as we go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Progressive Field. It'll be Ben Francisco, Asdrubal Cabrera, and Grady Sizemore squaring off against Nick Blackburn. First pitch is up high for ball 1. Mentioned earlier about Blackburn and being what you would call a possible late bloomer. He went to a pitching camp when he was in high school at Oklahoma State. He grew up in Oklahoma.
Right.
Oklahoma State is in Stillwater. And when he was at Oklahoma State's pitching camp, John Farrell was the pitching coach at that time for the Cowboys. And 2-1 pitch. Chopper to third. Creedy will set and throw him out.
Well, Bob Feller will make an appearance at tomorrow's game. With the Twins in this Twins series, he's going to autograph copies of his new book. It's Bob Feller's Little Blue Book of Baseball Wisdom. There it is right there. He'll take care of it. And it's going to be from section 156 from 6 o'clock to 8. If you want to have your book signed by Bob right here, I've already beat you to it. I've already got mine already autographed. So he took care of mine. It's Bob Feller's Little Blue Book of Baseball Wisdom. It's going to be a beautiful thing. He also has a little black book. I think that has phone numbers in it. Just kidding.
One down for Asdrubal Cabrera. The 0-1 hit in the air, left center. Long run for Delman Young. He's not going to get to it. Neither will the center fielder Span. Off the fence it goes. Into second is Cabrera with a one-out double.
Well, that wrist or finger or hand seems to be all right. Because Cabrera going the other way, off the wall. Pretty good pop. His fourth double of the year, the Indians' second hit.
Check out our great clip from yesterday, courtesy of Great Clips. Grady Sizemore's 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th inning off Ron Mayhay, providing the margin of victory for the Tribe.
That is a great clip right there. There's
Relax.
no doubt, the hanging slider.
Relax, you're at Great Clips.
Murph did a couple days ago, relaxed. Got clipped.
Here is Grady Sizemore with a runner at second and one out now here in the third. So I was saying Blackburn went to baseball camp at Oklahoma State. John Farrell was the pitching coach at Oklahoma State at that time. And he went up to Blackburn and said, "Do you pitch?" And at that time, Blackburn was not a pitcher. And he said, "No." And John Farrell said, "Why not?"
Yeah. That kind of body.
And the arm.
And the arm.
Grady with a line drive base hit into right center field. Coming around third, Cabrera's going to try to score. Span couldn't get a good grip on it. Throws into second. Cabrera scores standing, and we are tied at 1. Grady Sizemore now has 18 runs batted in on the year.
And he smoked that ball. Hit it right on the nose. The first single of the day. I don't know if this was a sinker that he left up. Let's take a look at it. Well, it was a pitch away. 91 miles per hour, so a second fastball, and Grady loved it. Hit it past Casilla at second base. Cabrera will score easily. We have a tie game. Third hit for the Indians. So then he started pitching, huh? Or was John able to talk him into it? Or
well, according to Blackburn, he didn't pitch when he was younger because he said, "When I tried, nobody knew where the ball was going, including myself."
Sometimes that helps.
The 0-1 swung on and missed by DeRosa. But he says, my entire career, I've always been an under-the-radar type of guy. And he said it's always served as a little bit more motivation.
Right.
To prove people that I can do it.
Well, I mean, he had a terrific rookie year last year, all things considered. I mean, he had 11 wins.
DeRosa with a line drive base hit left field. Young will cut it off. Sizemore stops at second. So 3 straight hits here in the third, and the Indians threatening now to take the lead.
Well, they're going through the second time of this lineup, and there's I don't know if that was looked like a breaking ball right there that Mark DeRosa stayed back on nicely. So if he gets up, the Indians starting to take advantage. That's 3 hits for the Tribe.
Could be dead wrong. It almost looked like a changeup.
Could have been.
Could have been. Back over the plate. Redbird tells us that for Grady Sizemore now, 13 of his 17 RBIs on the year have now come in his last 11 games. So Grady is really rolling offensively now in terms of production. Batting average at .265 on the year. Rick Anderson, after a brief visit to the mound, heads back to sit next to Ron Gardenhire. 2 on, 1 out, Victor Martinez, who doubled past Morneau at first, his first time up. And he took a little off, dropped it in for a called strike. Rick, it almost seems, too, that Martinez, and we've seen this throughout his career, when he gets in RBI situations and he gets ahead in the count, he gets over anxious. We haven't seen that during this hot spell from him.
Yeah, his balance is terrific in the batter's box.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Victor, he is so quick on the inside part of the plate that he doesn't have to, start it early. That first time up when he hit his double, he hit about a 93-mile-an-hour sinker, maybe 94. That was inside that he turned on and roped it down the line. If anything, Victor, he has very quick hands. He is back. He is healthy.
Blackburn trying to slow the pace down here. Maybe that was some of the conversation between he and pitching coach Rick Anderson.
Yes, a good point.
Martinez going to left field, and it's going to be backhanded nicely by Young.
That's what I'm saying. Even the outs are loud, and it was hit the other way. Nice play by Young. I mean, this ball, watch that's where the pitch location is. Victor stayed right on it. Young comes over, makes a nice backhanded play to retire Martinez for the out number 2. And that ball sinking on him because the left-hander, it's got a little spin going away and sinking. Look at that, pitch away. You talk about plate coverage. You talk about seeing the ball well. Look at him. He knew he hit it hard, just too hard.
As an outfielder, that's a much tougher play when you have to go across your body to the backhand,
than
right?
what it looks, yeah. Got to make sure you get your glove out in front of you.
Hafner caught in between. He went too far.
You know, you look at Blackburn for all-time Twins, all-time pitching leaders. He was 8th with 11 wins. He had 33 starts last year, which is 4th all-time in Twins history. And he also pitched 193 1/3 innings, which is 4th. So those are some excellent numbers for a rookie.
Good sinking fastball right there, and it's 0-2. It's almost looked like a changeup. It had so much movement down and away.
Well, he's got a good sinker, and when you get on top of a big guy, he's 6'4", and you get that leverage to go down, that sinker can run, and it'll make it look like a changeup.
Except it's 92 miles an hour.
Right.
50 pitches so far for Blackburn. Breaking ball hit high in the air. Shallow center. Span coming in. He makes the grab on the run, and the inning is over. But the Indians tie it on the Grady Sizemore RBI single, 1-1 through 3. Progressive Field tied at 1 going to the 4th inning. A special birthday announcement today. Sports Time Ohio's marketing chieftain, Mike Roche, celebrating a big birthday as Justin Morneau sends one
Mention Mike Roche and somebody hits a homer.
Deep into the lower deck. And Morneau takes the air out of the Indians with a tie-breaking homer. That's his 4th of the year, puts Minnesota back in front now 2-1 That was a no doubt about it shot.
Well, that came right back, first hitter, and they jump right on that run. The Indians scored, and this guy has some power. Was that pitch 94 miles an hour, and he got under it like that and hit it a ton. For Morneau, his 4th home run, 12th ribby.
So 2-1 Twins now as Jason Kubel, who doubled in a run in the first inning, steps to the plate.
You know, Matt, that sort of scares me too, because now, you know, Carmona was a guy that didn't give up home runs. He was a ground ball pitcher. That's already his 5th home run given up this year.
In 19 innings of work.
Yeah, that's a strange sign for him.
That ball's in the dirt. Well, for Carmona, I think at some point he'll continue to evolve and become more of a pitcher at some point. I mean, he's got such a great sinker and such a great fastball. But as we've seen with so many good young pitchers with great arms, you got to be able to change speeds or big league hitters can still catch up the hard stuff. It's his 3rd strikeout tonight, one down here in the 4th inning. And Joe Creedy about to step in. We were about to tell you that big milestone for Mike Roach. Many said he'd never make it. But he's celebrating his 40th birthday.
Well, the old Gator, he made it. Happy birthday, Mike. '40th.
Yeah, we had a great.
I haven't seen him since we've been back, so you know, is he down in the suite tonight?
We had a great picture of him.
Well, where is it?
Apparently, we're not allowed to show it. There's a copyright infringement. 1 ball, 1 strike. Creedy Tapper back to the mound his first time up. 55 pitches now for Fausto. Now the count 2-1. He has 6 ground ball outs to go with his 3 strikeouts to this point. Three and 1. Joe Creedy was unsigned until February 21st when the Twins inked him to a 1-year contract. He'll take the free pass here with 1 out. We'll send you now to the STO studios for a Ford Sports Update with Al Pawlowski.
Matt Rick, the Red Sox and Yankees going at it tonight in Fenway. First inning, pass ball by Molina. Ellsbury was on second, stealing third. He's coming all the way in and slides in safely. That's been the only run. 1-0 Red Sox in the 3rd. Back to you.
All right, Al, here it's 2-1 Minnesota with a runner at first and 1 out. Michael Kadire to the plate, struck out his first time up. Fastball strike inside corner. Kadire, a .268 career hitter. He's at 75 homers. He's driven in 335 coming into the year. And over 2,300 career at-bats. He has been what you would call a solid, dependable player.
Well, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the right-hander that separated Morneau and Mauer. And, you know, when you get Creedy in that lineup as well this year, you know, and he gets rolling because he's got some sock in that bat, that legitimizes that lineup from both sides of the plate.
Carmona's got him down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And he struck him out. Foul tip hung on to by Martinez. 4 punch-outs now for Carmona. Our Senior PGA Challenge keyword of the day is Eagle. If you would like the chance to win tickets to the Senior PGA along with autographed flags from previous champs, log on to STOHD.com and click on the contest banner at the top of the page. Fill out the entry form with the keyword Eagle. 20 winners will be selected. Enter today. Delman Young couldn't hold up, and it's a strike to start the at-bat. Didn't see any Eagles out at Little Mountain today.
Unless they were flying.
It's a lot of balls in the muck.
He said it was a little wet out there. Huh? While
Well,
Jimmy was out, he was shooting one of his shows, wasn't he, today?
0-2 on Delman Young.
He and Dr. Cairns.
And it's a good thing, too, because if he'd have watched me play today, it might have just turned him off from the whole game of golf altogether.
No, because he was out playing with Dr. Mike Cairns, Mr. TaylorMade bag.
The 0-2. It's
Nice
by
block.
Victor.
Nice block. You're exactly right. Keep him at first base. Vic knows, too, with 2 strikes and you're calling for that sinker and you want the pitch down, you better be ready to stick your body in front of it. Look at it. Right into the glove. It never even got to the chest protector. He was ready for it. No matter how high it bounced.
Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first with 2 down. Twins on top now 2-1 thanks to the Justin Morneau solo homer. Bouncer to third. DeRosa looked like it was by him, but he makes the grab but throws it away. And now the Twins will have runners at the corners. Boy, he did the hard part, and then the throw got away from him.
I want to see if they're going to give him a base hit and an error or just a straight error. We'll have to wait and see. Straight error. Okay. Looks like he makes a nice play to get the ball and just a wild throw. So it is a straight error. Throws it into right field to allow that inning to go. Made a nice pick. That is going to be the 11th error now for the Tribe.
Brings up the catcher, Jose Morales. Morales up with the Twins with the injury to Joe Mauer. He spent a little time, well, I should say 1 game in the big leagues. He played with the Twins in 2007.
You know, he looks like a kid.
That's going to be fouled out of play. 26 years old. Signed with the Twins back in 2001 out of the Dominican Republic. Moved from shortstop to second base to behind the plate. It's amazing.
You go from
when
second
you look
base
around,
to catcher.
Yeah, when you look around Major League Baseball, it seems like more times than not the catchers didn't start out catchers.
Victor Martinez, third base. Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, they can turn you into a catcher.
Joe
if you can't run.
Joe Mauer seems to be the exception to the rule. He's
came up as a catcher, always was a catcher.
Ground ball in the hole. It's through, and the Twins add a run. Jose Morales punches one through, picks up his 3rd RBI of the year. Just a little slap job to the opposite field. And it's now a 3-1 Minnesota lead, and the error hurts now.
Yes, it does. Fausto can't come up with it. I mean, there's a sinker ball there. It might have been elevated a little bit, but he hit a couple balls over to that side. Now I'm looking, it looks like Peralta's up the middle for this guy. That's a sinker ball pitcher, and he's slapping the ball the other way. And I'm not saying anything, but he could have been out of position there. It looked like he was up the middle to me.
You know, I was reading a story recently talking about Cal Ripken Jr. and pre-pitch positioning and how important that is for the shortstop.
To me, that's too far up the middle for a guy that's going to slap it. You saw how he hit foul balls over towards our dugout. And if Carmona's going with a sinker down and away, you would automatically, I would think, move over into the hole. He's not going to hit the ball up the middle. You'd bring your second baseman with you, I would think. I'm not blaming Johnny. Now, they have their scouting reports. I'm just thinking from the swings that I saw him take and the way Carmona's throwing the baseball, I mean, common sense would tell you he's going to hit it the other way.
And he did for a RBI. Ripken was saying that, you know, towards the end of his career at shortstop, he said, I only had about 2 or 3 steps to my left or right, the chance to make a play on the ball. And he said, I had to make sure that wherever I was setting up prior to the pitch gave me the best opportunity to make a play as possible.
Well, he's a guy that's 6'5". Cal was a, bigger than life shortstop. He was bigger than the position. Rarely, if ever, would you ever see him leave his feet. You know what I'm saying? So that's where his positioning came in. But with positioning comes execution of pitchers hitting their spots. And then that makes the pitching and defense go hand in hand. But he was absolutely one of the best at it.
The 1-1 pitch, and it's outside. Not by much, but the count now 2-1 on Punto, who walked his first time up.
Usually when you get a feel of a guy as a hitter, and you go ahead, usually when he hits the ball the hardest, you're going to be in that position. When he hits it the weakest, that to me is going to be a pitcher's mistake, where he'll roll over it, or if he pulls it on you, you're playing him the other way. That's not your fault there. That's just lack of execution on location.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Nick Punto with 2 aboard and 2 out. And the Twins already with 2 runs in. Struck him out, inning over. Carmona strikes out the side. But the unearned run allows the Twins to add to their lead. 3-1 Minnesota, middle of the 4th. Setting here at Progressive Field. Don't forget, you can catch the game and enjoy pizza, wings, or a famous Panini's overstuffed sandwich on their beautiful patios. Panini's, best food and outdoor dining in town. Visit paninisgrill.com. And what a night it would be on the Panini
Look
patio.
Look at that. Oh, baby, I'm telling you. Well, maybe we'll hear them cheering if the Indians can come back and put some runs on the board this inning.
Johnny Peralta struck out his first time up. Looks at a ball down low.
Minnesota was able to answer that run that the Indians put on. And for the first time this year, that's the first response runs that Fausto's given up after the Indians got on the board.
Rounded to third. Joe Creedy, routine for him. 1 away.
Well, stay informed throughout the 2009 season with MLB.com. That's team text alerts and video alerts. You can customize your mobile alerts, including news, game summaries, scores, and more. Sign up by texting Get Indians to 65246 or visit MLB.com.
Here is Shin-Soo Choo stepping in for the Indians. And Nick Blackburn delivers a first pitch strike. Big play in this game to this point, and granted it's still very early, but the play by Delman Young in left field to take a hit away from Victor Martinez really stopped that Indians rally in its tracks. They had a run in, but after 3 straight hits, they were looking for more, and Young made a great play.
Yeah, nice backhanded stab. I always found out, too, when you go on the road and you're playing, because Minnesota, they play very well at home. That's where, I think they had 18 more home wins than on the road last year. When you go out on the road and you make a couple of nice defensive plays, that keeps you in ball games and turns momentum. And, at home, you have the momentum, you get your big hits, you feel comfortable. But on the road, the better defense you play, the better team you're going to be.
Take the crowd out of it a little bit.
That's exactly right. On a couple of plays here or there, you stop them from getting the momentum going, and it puts it right back into your dugout.
2-2 to Choo. Outside, full count. They've reached the halfway point at the Palace at Auburn Hills, and the Cavs lead the Pistons 44-37 at the break.
Okay.
Payoff pitch. And Choo got a piece, stays alive here. LeBron James and company trying to hold serve and take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series. And they're up 7 at the break. At one point in that quarter, they were down 26-20, but they pulled away. 3-2. And he's out looking. Second strikeout for Blackburn, 2 down in the inning. Time now for our Subway fresh face of the game. Lonnie Chisenhall, the #1 pick last year, has homered in 3 straight games, including 2 grand slams.
That's pretty hot. 9-game hitting streak. That's a fresh face.
Subway, play hard, eat fresh. Brings up Ryan Garko, grounded out to short his first time up. And Nick Blackburn pumps a strike in. Back out of play. He's punched out 3 strikeouts for Blackburn. He gets a pair here to end the 4th. 3-1 Minnesota. Show is brought to you in part by Subway. Play hard, eat fresh. By AM/PM. Too much good stuff. And by Altel Wireless. Choose who you call for free with My Circle. Any number, any network. It's a 3-1 Minnesota lead as we go to the fifth inning here at Progressive Field. Twins got a run in the first and 2 more in the fourth. Span got the first run of the game. He singled to start the ball game. Came around to score on Jason Kubel's 2-out RBI double. One ball and 1 strike. Broke his bat as Drupal Cabrera throws out the speedy Span by a half a step, 1 away. Well, Rick, tonight's
Friday
the
night.
Big drawing for the Mega Millions jackpot. $155 million up for grabs.
Did you get your ticket?
You can still get your ticket. Well, maybe you can't still get your ticket, but folks out there watching.
Right. $155 million.
Still run down and get their
10:45.
ticket.
Yes, you can. If this game gets over 10:45 is the deadline.
That's right.
$155 million.
Fair ball inside the bag at third. Casilla around first on his way to second. Nope, puts the brakes on. And wisely holds with a 1-out single. His first hit tonight.
That's what this guy does. Really shortened his swing last year. They really did a good job with him staying inside the baseball, and this one stayed. The reason why he doesn't get a double, they're playing him over off on the line. So a 1-out single for Alex Casilla.
There is Justin Morneau, who hit a monster homer his last time up.
Well, he led off that 4th inning and got it started.
Twins sent 7 men to the plate in that inning. Back to the mound. Carmona goes to second for 1. Peralta's relay on the money. An inning-ending double play. 3-1 Minnesota, middle of the 5th. Twins on top, moving to the bottom of the 5th inning here. For the Indians, Ben Francisco is Drupal Cabrera and Grady Sizemore. And Francisco looks at a first pitch strike from Nick Blackburn. 1-1. Checked his swing. Creedy, what a play. 1 down. Time now for the All Care Dental Indentures Smiling Easy Cam. Folks able to get in the short sleeves tonight. Summer came early to Progressive Field on this April evening. A little fun in the sun before we moved into the middle innings here tonight with 17 locations across northeastern Ohio. All Care Dental Indentures make seeing the dentist easy. Home plate umpire Bill Miller hearing it from the Indians dugout right now.
That's all right. It gets me beef up in the terrace club. Why not get some of the snacks?
As Dribble Cabrera takes a strike.
Yeah, beef over 12. Fine aged beef.
Cabrera, a smash to short, kicks away from Punto. He recovers, throws, and still got him.
Boy, he stayed with it. He certainly stayed with that ball. That's a panic. When you don't catch that ball, it's short. Normally, you don't have time to miss it, get back up, and make a play. But that ball did not get that far away. And right now, he's panicking. He gets it, gets his feet in position to make that throw as soon as he picks it up just to get Cabrera. So Nick Punto stayed with it nicely.
2 down for Grady Sizemore. He drove in the Indians' only run in the third with an RBI single. Broke his bat. Gonna be a tough play. Oh, what a dive, but no play, and it's a fair ball. And now the throw to second, and they got him. So the inning ends on a broken bat single, but Sizemore thrown out trying to advance. Through 5, 3-1 Minnesota. Casilla with a terrific dive and almost
was in fair territory.
made the grab.
That was a great effort.
But watch Morneau make a good, strong throw, and Sizemore
He got him by plenty.
Out easily, yeah.
That was a great attempt, good throw. And you had to keep running.
Grady was just kind of caught in no man's land. You're already halfway around
he's
first.
running anyway, full speed. That's the way he plays. And they were just heads up. Morneau was ready and got him.
Kubel, a swing and a miss, struck out his last time up. Also has an RBI double tonight. Bouncer to third. DeRosa flips it over, one down. Let's go back to the STO studios right now for a Ford Sports Update.
Guys, let's head to Chicago where the Blue Jays are in town. They're underway in the first. Runners at first and third and one out. And Vernon Wells sends this one to the gap in right center. Hill scores easily. Scudero coming around from first. Hill score. And the Blue Jays added another 3-0 Toronto. Bottom of the first now in Chicago. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Al. I see the Yankees and Red Sox are now tied at 1 in the fourth. Royals lead the Tigers 2-0. They're in the second in Kansas City. White Sox down 3-0 to Toronto early. Creedy pops it back out of play. Speaking of that Toronto White Sox game, you see where both B.J. Ryan and Ricky Romero were placed on the disabled list for the Blue Jays.
So one of their starters and their closer.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess Scott Downs is the closer for now.
Right. You know, off to a terrific start are the Blue Jays, and they're hurt already in the pitching department.
Just missed inside.
Yeah, you got McGowan, Markham, Richmond. Yeah, they've got quite a few guys. That's a mash unit up there. And we will be heading there for 2 games on our next road trip.
That is right. Struck him out looking. That's a half dozen punch outs for Carmona, 2 down here in the 6th.
Well, tickets are now available for the new AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. $32 upper reserve ticket includes unlimited dogs, popcorn, peanuts, nachos, and Pepsi products. Visit Indians.com and check it out.
Here is Michael Kadire, a couple of strikeouts tonight. And he takes a first pitch strike. Low and away, and the count evens at 1-1. Kadire 3 for 19 in his career against Fausto. Fouls that one straight back. Now he's down on the count. Kadire has a dozen hits in 60 at-bats so far on the year. The 1-2 up the gut. And Kadire has his first hit tonight. A 2-out single.
That's hit number 6 for the Twins. He just stayed on it and goes right back up the middle. Pulled off and struck out his first 2 times, but he says, I'm just going to try and put this ball in play. And he did and got a base hit.
It's going to bring up Delman Young. 0 for 2 on the night. Kadire draws a throw. He does have 1 steal on the year. Chopper to third, and it goes foul.
Well, the Twins, of their 6 hits, 3 of them have come with 2 outs, 2 of them to drive in runs.
Delman Young has been an aggressive hitter throughout his career. He swung at the first pitch back in 2007 more than 50% of the time, most in the major leagues.
Well, that's maturity, where you got to learn the work to count. And, pitchers will throw you pitches that if they know you're going to swing, let's say half the time.
Already 47% this year. That gets away from Martinez, and down to second goes Kadire.
Yeah, right there, it looked like Victor might have got a little lazy. With a runner on base, and, you go to that backhand. He didn't put a body down in front in case you don't catch it. Watch the backhand. No body movement. He got lazy on that Carmona sinker. And, there's times where I'm sure you don't think it's going to sink as much as it does. But right there, with a man on base, 2 outs, you can't let him go into scoring position. That's just, I think, a little lack of concentration there.
The 1-1. And he threw it right by him. 94 miles an hour. Twins have done it with 2 outs tonight, 2 for 4 in these situations, but Young goes down hacking here. 7 strikeouts for Carmona, but he trails 3-1 middle of the 6th. Twins on top, bottom of the 6th coming up here at Progressive Field. Mark DeRosa, Victor Martinez, Travis Hafner. Look at Nick Blackburn, 6 pitches to get out of the 5th inning. That's his 71st toss of the night right there.
Well, you go back to that 3rd inning when the Indians had 3 straight hits from Cabrera, Sizemore, DeRosa. And then Rick Anderson went out to visit him. The Indians just 1 for 8 since that visit to the mound, and it seemed like he tried to slow him down from our vantage.
Yeah, at that point he did. 10 straight first pitch strikes for Blackburn. So he's
and the Indians only swung at the first pitch 4 times tonight.
Is that a case where Derek Shelton may say, let's get aggressive early in the count because he's getting ahead?
Go up there and say, hey, if you get a pitch to your liking, get after it, especially if it's a fastball. I mean, it's not like he's tricking anybody. He's got the good sinker. He's had success. He's 3-0 in his career against the Tribe. So, I mean, he feels comfortable. I mean, some guys don't feel comfortable going up there swinging at the first pitch if it's a good sinker. But I'll tell you, he's just dropping an occasional curveball in there and changing speeds, a good changeup. There's a little slider there that he can throw anywhere from 87 to 89, but the bulk of it, you're going to get your sinker. He's not afraid to pitch in either. That's what I like about this young Twin staff. They will go inside at times. That got a bat.
Over the dugout out of play, and DeRosa will go get a new piece of lumber.
See, he wasn't sitting inside, but the movement on that pitch, he's actually sitting away. And now watch it come in and gets himself a bat with the movement. As you say, under the radar, you're into the 6th inning. Giving up just 5 hits.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And this is a guy that has been known to struggle on the road. There's a good close breaking ball right on the outside edge. A teaser, really.
2-2 down and in, full count.
That is Blackburn's now 5th full count in the ball game. To that point, the Indians are 0 for 4 on the first 4.
And the payoff pitch.
They get 0 for 5.
Nick Punto will throw him out. Another look at tonight's Alltel text poll question of the game. Opinion poll. What do you think for Grady Sizemore this year? Will he go deep a ton more than last year, about the same, or less? Text your answer to 31962. Results coming up later. Victor Martinez is 1 out of 2 tonight with a double. Martinez lined a ball to left field back in the 3rd with 2 on and only 1 out. And Delman Young made a nice catch to the backhand side. And the Indians have done nothing since.
That's after they had their 3 consecutive hits that we were talking about in that inning. And it seemed to settle Nick Blackburn down.
Checked his swing, but he fouls it right at the dish. No balls and 2 strikes. 80 pitches for Nick Blackburn. Time called before Blackburn started into the windup. And now the 0-2. Last year, Minnesota won the season series against the Indians going 10-8, but here in Cleveland, the Indians won 6 out of the 9. In Minnesota, the Twins won 7 of the 9. So it was really a home field advantage for each team last year. Really got inside. Martinez just fights it off. At the start of the night, Minnesota was just a game in front of the Indians at 7-9. Tribe checking in at 6-10. White Sox, Tigers, Royals all tied at 8-7. Now the 0-2. Missed outside. But as you could see, Morales, that's right where he wanted it. Move this off the plate a little bit. Try to get him to expand his zone.
It. That's exactly right. Victor, a guy that will do that, but not a bad 0-2 pitch.
Pop that back out of play. Talk about pounding the strike zone. Nick Blackburn has thrown 84 pitches, 59 for strikes, 25 for balls.
That's what you love to see your pitchers do.
Two the count. Martinez with Hafner waiting on deck. That one ate up Morneau, but he stays with it and flips to Blackburn, 2 down. That got to Morneau in a hurry.
With some spin on it.
The former hockey goalie just kept it right in front of him.
Well, Victor's hit it on the nose all 3 times again tonight. You see the spin? He didn't get his body out of the way. He was going to. You want to get out of the way of that, but he did not.
That would
Plays
not have,
it off his body. Look at
that would not have been a goal. It would not have crossed the line.
No, it did not. It hit that left forearm. Blackburn over there in plenty of time.
So now Travis Hafner, 0 for 2, steps in. Big bouncer. Again, it's Morneau. And a first pitch out recorded here for Nick Blackburn. He sets him down 1-2-3. 6 complete. 3-1 Minnesota. It's been a well-pitched ball game. Twins have the better of it to this point, leading at 3-1. Activity in the Indians' bullpen as Fausto Carmona gets ready to work the 7th inning against Jose Morales, Nick Punto, and Denard Span. Carmona has allowed 3 runs, only 2 earned. He gave up 1 in the first on a 2-out RBI double by Jason Kubel. A run in the 4th on a solo homer by Justin Morneau, and then a 2-out RBI hit by Jose Morales pushed across the unearned run. Betancourt loosening. Carmona closing in on 100 pitches for the night. Jose Morales, he's the guy who slapped it through the left side of the infield. With 2 down in that 4th inning. Jose Morales, then Punto and Span here in the 7th. Fouls that one up off the right side. Now the 2-1. Outside. High fly ball, deep left field, and off the wall. Francisco made a great play off the carom, and he holds him to a long single.
That was a terrific play by Benny out there in left field. I mean, that ball, Morales hit a long way. He thought he was going to be able to catch it when it went off the bat, But as it kept slicing away from him, he got close to the wall and he pulled up like you should, and then he played it beautifully right into his bare hand on the throw. He ends up holding Morales to a single. He was thinking double all the way, and then he sees the throw coming. Very nice play, because that saves you a base with that leadoff man. Good play.
Nick Punto to the plate. Carmona over 100 pitches. And you got the top of the order on deck. Runner goes. Pitch bounced through the hole. Morales will go to third. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And that is Twins baseball at its best right there.
Well, one of the few guys you're going to start the runner with is Nick Punto, because he can put the ball in play. So instead of bunting, Ron Gardenhire says, I'm going to start my runner and take a shot. I have a 2-run lead. He finds the hole. Now they have runners at the corners. And Carmona in a world of trouble. First and third, nobody out. Back up to the top of the lineup, and out goes Martinez. Maybe waiting for Betancourt. Although with Carmona, one pitch could get you 2 outs in a hurry.
Well, I would think Betancourt's ready. He's been warming for a while.
Well, Victor's stalling.
Don't forget, tomorrow, stop by the Winking Lizard in Lakewood for the ClevelandFan.com and STO Draft Party. Free bowling, noon to 6. Plus beer and food specials, 35 TVs, free Wi-Fi. STO and Coors Light prizes, T-shirts. Don't miss the NFL Draft Party tomorrow at the Winking Lizard in Lakewood. Well, we've got a timeout here at Progressive Field. Eric Wedge is going to make a move to the bullpen right here with Twins at the corners and nobody out in the 7th. Progressive Field, where the Twins lead at 3-1. They've got 2 on, nobody out here in the 7th inning. Fausto Carmona's night is now over. Check out our Direct Energy bringing the gas sequence.
Go back to the first inning with Fausto Carmona facing Justin Morneau. Missed with a little sinker, hits with one right there. Got him to foul one off. Missed up and out of the strike zone. Something that went down very well right there.
Direct Energy offers simple solutions for your natural gas supply needs. For Carmona tonight, it was the left-handed hitters that gave him the most trouble. They went 7 for 17. Right-handed hitters were just 1 for 8. But he leaves on the short end here, and now it's up to Rafael Betancourt to try to keep the deficit at just 2 runs, or at the very least minimize the damage. Indians will bring the infield partway in. Denard Span, the speedster, at the plate, 1 out of 3 with a single. He hit into a double play in the 3rd inning. And about the only way you double him up is a 1-hop smash at an infielder, a middle infielder, and that would enable them to have a chance to turn two. Fouled away. Morales the runner at third. Punto at first. Morales runs very well for a catcher, and it's outside, not by much, but it is outside. 1-1 to count.
That's the thing with Rafi. I mean, when he's missed this year, it has been barely. He has such good control more times than not.
Major League Baseball scores courtesy of Wendy's. Way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Again, it's outside, 2-1.
Well, this kid also now, for a rookie last year, he's got a good eye at the plate. He doesn't. I didn't realize that he had that good discipline or that good of an eye for a young hitter. When we first saw him hit last year, we never thought that as low as his hands were, that he'd be able to catch up with a good fastball. But believe me, he can. Watch how he just sits and he'll relax, and then when Betancourt holds it, he'll get him back in.
Fouls it away.
He looks like he's tardy on some swings, but believe me, he'll end up catching up to it.
2-2 the count. With Rafael Betancourt on the mound, he's not a ground ball pitcher. So
right.
A double play is unlikely just because he doesn't throw a sinking fastball.
I agree. So are you looking at the middle infielders, why they're almost halfway or even in closer than that? I agree. With nobody out, it looks like, you got to make a decision. Are you going for the double play? Span can run. So maybe they're thinking if he doesn't hit it on the nose, they'll have a chance to get, Morales, the catcher, at home. But you're right, Betancourt's a fly ball pitcher or a strikeout pitcher, however you want to look at it.
Ben Francisco shortened up and near the line and left. Grady Sizemore over in the left center. Runner at first breaks, and Span bounces it to third, where DeRosa, all he could do is smother it.
He did a terrific job. The runner did a nice job to go back. He just saved a run, actually almost two, because Punta was off and running. And Denard Span just had to reach for that ball and slaps it. See, there's Punta running. DeRosa makes a great play. He tried to throw his glove back on the base, but not before Morales could get his foot back. That'll go as an infield single. Now they'll load the bases. There's still nobody out, but a very nice play.
Had he tagged him out, that would have been some kind of play.
Well, yeah, but just trying to, knowing.
Because he was reaching back just hoping he would get him. But
he got that glove caught underneath him, but that was a beautiful play. And now the infield is in. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Minnesota a chance to blow this one open.
Casilla swings and misses.
This is another category where they were very good last year with the bases loaded. You remember how they just continued to do damage.
Casilla tonight 1 for 3. Both of his outs have been on the ground, and that's what Betancourt's hoping for right here. Boy, it missed by much, but it's 1-1 now. Cavs and Pistons all tied up after 3 quarters at the Palace at Auburn Hills, 53-53. So Detroit outscoring the Cavs by 7 in the third quarter to knot it up as they go to the fourth. Here's the 1-1 pitch now from Betancourt to Casilla. Round ball to Cabrera. He's coming home, had trouble getting it out of his mitt.
Yeah, so you just get the one.
And they'll take the out there, first out in the inning.
Okay, he did have problems. That could have been a double play ball. But you got to make sure you get one. They do that. So that'll go fielder's choice 4-2. There it is. He just double clutch and make sure you get the first out. Now you can go ahead and drop the middle infielders back and try and get the double play.
Justin Morneau, the batter, 1 for 3 with a big homer back in the 4th. And it's low, ball 1. Morneau with that uppercut swing against Betancourt. This is a tough ground ball situation if you're the Indians. There it is, though. Garko had trouble with it. They'll get it out at first, but the Twins get a big run.
Defense is killing them, man. They had opportunities. Betancourt makes his pitch. Give him credit. Garko couldn't field the ball cleanly. Allows the run to score.
That was a pretty good opportunity for a double play.
You've got it when your pitcher makes the pitch in this situation. You've got to make the play. You've got to turn the double play to get out of the inning. Betancourt would have got the first base anyway and beat Morneau. But the inning will continue. That'll go as a 3-1, but give Morneau an RBI.
His second of the game. And the Twins now lead it by 3. Second and third, 2 down for Jason Kubel. They'll pass on him and go after the right-handed hitting Joe Crede.
Yeah, those are, you make your plays. You got to make your plays. The defense for the Indians has been shaky. You don't get an error on that play, but it is an error for not turning it.
Again, the Cavs Pistons going to the 4th quarter, all tied at 53. Cavs trying to take a 3-0 series lead in that one. So the bases are now reloaded. And Joe Crede 0 for 2 is the batter. Betancourt deals, and Crede hits a ground ball. Backhanded by Peralta. Long throw across. Not in time. A close play at first. Crede beats it out. And the Twins get another big run. They now lead it 5-1.
Well, what happened? Johnny wanted to go to second base. He realized that over there that Kubel was going to beat the play, then had to throw it to first base. Thought he got enough on his throw. He's a little upset. I don't know if Garko came off the bag. It was a nice play. You see, he wanted to go to second. He wasn't going to get the out. Boy, I don't know. That's close. That is bang, bang. He's called safe there by Brian Runge. No argument from either player.
Well, I guess tie goes to the runner.
Well,
that's about as close as you can get to a tie.
That'll go as a base hit. That'll go as a base hit. And boy, oh boy, was that close.
So 2 runs in the inning.
See what happens when you prolong the inning. You don't make a play. You give them an extra out, and teams take advantage of it. Minnesota, this is the first time of all year that they have never trailed in the ball game.
Out of play. 0-2. Michael Kadire, 1 out of 3 tonight. He singled in the 6th after striking out in his first 2 at-bats. Strikes out again for the 3rd time tonight, but the damage done. Twins get a pair. Stretch time in Cleveland, 5-1 Minnesota. Bottom of the 7th. Indians staring at a 4-run deficit here. Nick Blackburn has been tough tonight. 87 pitches, 12 straight first pitch strikes. And he finally misfires. I got him. I'm always getting blamed for doing that in the reverse. Oh, why'd you have to say that? Peralta takes a strike to even the count. Yeah, Blackburn has been impressive.
Well, he has every time he's pitched against the Indians. An ERA of about 1.7 in his 6 appearances.
Blackburn had 90 pitches on the evening. No activity in the Minnesota bullpen. Just missed inside with it. There's a high drive, deep center field, Span back on the track and makes the catch. That's twice tonight the Indians have hit a ball to the deepest part of the park. And Span has been there to make the catch both times.
Well, tomorrow night the Indians will continue this series with the Twins, and all fans in attendance, you're going to receive a Kerry Wood bobblehead, courtesy of Shears. You bring a Pepsi can, you can receive a half-price bleacher, mezzanine, or upper box seat. So visit Indians.com for tickets. A Kerry Wood bobblehead night tomorrow.
Chu tried to bunt his way aboard, fouled it off. Foul down the first base side, 0-2. Same two teams tomorrow night here at Progressive Field. It'll be Carl Pavano against Kevin Slowey. We'll have it all for you on Sports Time Ohio at 7 o'clock. Missed inside, not by much. Chu ready for the 1-2 pitch, and he got him. Fourth strikeout for Nick Blackburn. 2 down in the inning. We'll go back to the STO studios for a Ford Sports update.
Guys, let's go to Kansas City. Tigers in town to take on the Royals. Couple of home runs. First for Mark Keehan in the bottom of the first inning. 2-run shot is second. And hot hitting Alberto Castro is first of the year in the second inning. 3-0 Royals. They're in the fifth. Back to you.
Here now is Ryan Garko, who is 0 for 2 tonight. A little flare going to drop in center field, and the Indians get a 2-out base hit. Join Bruce Drennan along with Sam Ritigliano as they take your calls and emails on the NFL Draft tomorrow beginning at 3:30. Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, and Andre Knott will have updates from Berea as the draft unfolds. Special edition of All Bets Are Off Draft Day Special tomorrow, 3:30, right here on STO. Ben Francisco 0 for 2 with a runner at first and 2 down. Some stirring now in the Twins bullpen as Nick Blackburn closes in on 100 pitches. High fly ball, left center field. Span is back and he will make the catch. 7 in the books here in Cleveland. It's Minnesota 5, Cleveland 1. Here at Progressive Field, it's 5-1 in favor of Minnesota. And Vinny Chalk coming on now for the Tribe for the 5th time this year. And he will face Delman Young, who is 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 3 tonight.
Young ended up reaching on that error back in the 4th inning to prolong that inning, and then they got a big base hit to give them one extra run in that inning. Made it a 3-1 ball game at the time.
Now the 0-1. Fouled off the mask behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Young, who came in tonight batting .229. Off to a slow start offensively, but he's got some pop in the bat. 2 and 2 the count.
I think for the most part, if I can remember him in years past, he notoriously starts off slowly, and then he gets better as the year goes on. When he first came to the Twins, they were wondering what the heck, what's going on. They thought they were getting a better player, but as the year goes on, he does heat up.
That would stand to reason for me because he is such an aggressive swinger. A guy who will go after a lot of first pitches and a guy who swings early in the count. It probably takes him a little while to get to the point where he's able to put together enough streaks and hot spells to where he can get that average up.
I look at it this way. He's played in 2 places where you're indoors and you never have cold weather. So it shouldn't take him long to get going. I know what you're saying on that regard. Bouncer to third. Throws him out. But if you're a first ball swinger notoriously, you don't give yourself a lot of chances deep into at bats. No, that's true. You said 50% of the time.
1 down now for Jose Morales, who has 2 hits tonight, including a run batted in. And it was a big one back in the 4th. Indians have been playing from behind ever since this ball game started. They did tie it briefly in the 3rd.
Yeah, it was briefly because the first hitter in that 4th inning came out and went deep.
And they've been behind ever since. Thanks to Nick Blackburn, who has stymied the Indians' offense. Since the Tribe tied the game in that 3rd inning, they've had 2 singles since. Oh, what a nice play by Cabrera to take a 1-hop smash away from Morales. We're out number 2. Looked like that ball might be headed to right field.
Sure did. That's a good play. Ball looked like it was getting by him, and just enough extension in the reach. The long arm of the law flagged it down and threw him out.
And with 2 down here is Nick Punto. He had a key hit that sparked that 7th inning for Minnesota with Jose Morales aboard. He took off, and Punto bounced one through the right side. Twins had runners at 1st and 3rd and nobody out. They would eventually plate a pair to expand their lead to 4. Caught the outside corner. Vinny Chalk was a 12th round pick of the Blue Jays back in 2000. before going to the Giants in 06 and then signed with the Indians this offseason. Swung on and missed. Vinny Chalk was traded in 06 along with Shea Hillenbrand to the Giants for Jeremy Accardo. Accardo's got a great arm, but he's been up and down with the Blue Jays. Here's the 2-2 now. Missed inside, full count. And now the payoff pitch. Popped out of play. Two down, bases empty. Chalk trying to set the Twins down in order for the first time since back in the second inning when they went 1-2-3. In the air, left center. Sizemore cruising into the gap, but Francisco's there. Twins go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the eighth. 5-1 Minnesota. Indians have their work cut out for them. Down 4 and facing left-hander Jose Mejeras out of Venezuela. Hard-throwing left-hander. He can get it up there in the mid-90s with his fastball. He's got an excellent slider. That fastball outside for ball 1. Mejeras hails from the same hometown as former Indian Omar Vizquel, who's celebrating his 42nd birthday today.
Boy, he sure is. 42, can you believe it?
No, I can't. That doesn't seem possible.
I know it, but it is. Span goes to left field. Gomez is in center.
Put the speed in the outfield for Minnesota now.
Well, you get that lead. You're absolutely right. Let's put the defense out there. Also want to send out some birthday wishes to Dorothy Rathman of Walnut Creek, who turned 90 today. Dorothy, happy birthday to you. And Mac McAfee from WKYC. Happy birthday to you.
Dorothy, that's one of our favorite stops on the old Winter Press
Yes,
Tour
it
is down
is.
at Walnut Creek.
How's the dinners there?
Oh,
desserts.
phenomenal. Awesome.
That's how you rate a stop.
A little peanut butter pie. Up high to Cabrera, and the count goes full now. They tell us Jose Majerus is the reason they allowed Dennis Reyes to walk. Reyes was a free agent, and he sat out there all winter into the spring, and the Cardinals finally snapped him up.
They snapped him up late, for a decent price, and Reyes did a great job for them. He was their matchup lefty.
Trying to punch it through, but Casilla made a great stop. However, he couldn't find the handle to throw him out, and Cabrera is aboard with an infield single to start the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, that's funny because he did get there in plenty of time. He caught the ball, and I don't know if once he got there, Matt, did he try and rush? Or actually, when he tried to get to his feet, he just couldn't get his balance and find the baseball. He's trying to do it all in one and lost control on the transfer.
I think he had time to settle and then make the play, but you're right.
He wanted to do it all at once.
Yeah, try to do it a little too quick. I've said this to you before. Lou Holtz, one of his old sayings was, be quick, but don't be in a hurry.
Yeah. Easier said than done, especially when you're out there and you see a guy coming down the line.
I never quite understood the phraseology when I first came up working around baseball, when guys would say sometimes the game speeds up on you.
Right.
When you sit and you watch, you start to understand what that's all about.
Well, they make it look so easy to begin with. And, I mean, the Major League player out in the field and everything, it just, boy, it looks easy. And then all of a sudden, when that one play and something's on the line and you get those quick twitches, and that's all it takes is one little quick twitch for you to mess up or not grab the ball when you're just not nice and fluid and relaxed.
Well, Majerus reaching back for a little something extra against Sizemore has him down 0-2. Fouled back. Majerus doesn't pitch like Dennis Reyes, but he does look similar. I mean, he's 6 feet, 230 pounds. Reyes was a big guy, a big left-hander.
Reyes was, he could do just about anything. He came out of the bullpen. He was a matchup guy. Good breaking ball. This guy throws harder. This guy's, could get it up there in the mid-90s. When you got a young kid that comes through your system and you've got a free agent and you don't want to spend money, it's an easy choice. Now, it may take this kid a while before he can fill into the role and be as mature as a guy like Reyes.
And he's only 24 years old.
Right.
He won't turn 25 till the end of October. Indians try to mount another late inning rally. Got him. Takes care of Sizemore with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 1 down. Well, here are the results of tonight's All-Tel Text Poll. Majority of fans think Grady Sizemore is headed for a second consecutive career year. 33 homers last year, career high.
Well, you know what happens to him as the year goes on. You get a little tired. They end up pitching around you when you have the success. And if the guys behind you don't start, producing or putting up runs, then they quit throwing you strikes.
I mean, at this rate, he's on pace to hit 36 or more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Long year.
Mark DeRosa, 1 out of 3.
Well, Gary feels he's going to hit 70.
High pop. Backpedaling into left field is Span, and he's got the catch, 2 down.
Well, if you're looking for a once-in-a-lifetime gift, purchase a ticket for Batting Practice Extra. That's a chance to watch Indians batting practice right down on the field. Call 216-420-HITS to find out more.
Victor Martinez, 1 out of 3, will be the batter with a runner at first and 2 down. 20,215 our attendance here tonight at Progressive Field. They'll enjoy fireworks after the ball game on a night that's feels a little bit like the 4th of July.
Tonight is fireworks, isn't it? I forgot all about that Friday night.
First pitch swinging, popped him up. Casilla, the second baseman, makes the catch, and that'll do it. 8 in the books, 5-1 Twins. Five-1 in favor of the Twins as we go to the 9th inning. Vinny Chalk on for a second inning of relief work. He'll face the top of the order for Minnesota.
Got a good one going on in Boston. 2-2 tie. 7th inning with the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Span retired 3-1 on the putout. Stick around. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show comes your way immediately following the game. We'll take a look back at the highlights. Get ready for tomorrow's Game 2 in this 3-game series. It all comes your way next. Alexei Casilla, 1 for 4 tonight, steps in against Vinny Chalk. And a first pitch strike.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Rolls it to second as Drupal Cabrera throws him out 2 down. As Drupal Cabrera has really been tested by the Twins tonight. He's had to make a lot of plays. This was a big one early.
Very nice early. Took the grunt from Nick Punto. The one that's sort of double clutch, but you're only going to get one there for the most part anyway. And then a little play that he goes to his left. You remember he started out the game in that first inning diving for a ball and hurt his hand or his wrist.
Yeah. Landed awkwardly on his free hand, and it has not bothered him. Justin Morneau has driven in a couple of runs tonight. A solo homer in the 4th, an RBI ground out in the 7th.
I'll give Cabrera 7 assists tonight and a double play turn. It's a final.
Yeah, that's why the crowd's cheering here at Progressive Field. The Cavaliers have beaten the Pistons 79-68, take a 3-0 series lead.
Well, they really haven't had much to cheer about. It's been a quiet game as far as the bats go offensively for the Tribe. Just 7 hits and only 1 run on the board.
The 1-2 is in the dirt. There it is, final score 79-68. Game 4 between the Cavs and Pistons will be Sunday. They can close them out. The 2-2 to Morneau. Back out of play. Vinny Chalk trying to set him down here. 1-2-3. He's retired all 5 that he's faced. And he strikes him out. Good work by Vinny Chalk. 6 up, 6 down. But now it's up to the Indians' bats. They trail it 5-1. Twins lead it. 9th inning here at Progressive Field. And coming on for the Twins will be their closer, Joe Nathan. He'll face the heart of the Indians order, Travis Hafner, Johnny Peralta, and Shin-Soo Choo.
Well, Nathan hasn't pitched since Sunday. You know, they had yesterday off. They had that day-night doubleheader. They were rained out the day before that. So it's been 5 days since Joe's been on the mound, so they've got to get him some work.
Yeah. I've always said, I mean, that's the toughest thing I think about being a manager is handling your bullpen. Because I've heard so many pitchers say in the past, you know, you don't
fine line.
You don't wear out, you rust out. So you've got to get them work, but you can't be running a guy out there 3-4 days in a row.
But
either.
You know what happens though when you're a veteran like Nathan who's been around, they know how to prepare on their sides, or when they need to get work in the bullpen before a game.
Yeah.
They know what it takes for them to stay sharp and stay ready. That's, to me, I think one of the toughest things for guys going into the bullpens is you learn your routine of how much work you do need and when you need to back off.
Travis Hafner 0 for 3 tonight. I've even heard starting pitchers say it took them a while to learn how much work to do in between starts. I've heard guys say, I threw my in-between bullpens, and I was gassed by the end of the season. I had nothing left.
Well, now they have workout plans. They don't run as much as they used to, but, they have their own rituals that, how they get ready and things like that. Some guys throw more in their side sessions. Some throw less. Some don't even throw at times.
Some guys want to save their bullets.
Well, when you save your bullets and you come out, you better pitch like Blackburn did tonight. I mean, he hadn't pitched in a week, and he comes out there and he's throwing nothing but strikes.
Travis Hafner strikes out, 1 down. Hafner 0 for 4 tonight. Johnny Peralta 0 for 3. And he looks at a strike. Quickly 0-2 the count. Nathan's always had a good fastball, but the good secondary off-speed pitch is what is.
I can't believe this guy started his career as a shortstop. You know, that's to me is mind-boggling. As tall as he is,
he was pretty much done with baseball.
Right? Didn't he retire and then come back?
He walked away. Didn't want to be a pitcher, and then said, well, "Let me give this a shot anyway before I walk away for good."
Well, I think that was the right move.
You think?
I think.
Several $1 million later. Here's the 1-2 now. Missed away with it.
Well, it could have became a free agent, was it a year or so ago, and ended up he was very happy in Minnesota, and you know, was the way they used him, and he said, I want to stay. And you know, Minnesota's always had a pretty solid bullpen.
One of the rare instances of a guy who's clearly maybe not at the very top, but near the top of his profession in his select line of work, and decided, I'm not going to go for the top dollar. I'm not going to seek the most money I can get.
He's happy with where he's at. Good for him. You don't hear that story out there, though. You know, it's always the greed and what, you know, people want to get top dollar. Well, that's not always true.
He has struck out the first 2 here in the 9th. And Johnny Peralta is 0 for his last 19. That'll bring up Shin-Soo Choo, 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Five runs on 10 hits for Minnesota. 1 run, 7 hits for the Indians. Choo lays off the high fastball. That 95-mile-an-hour heater over the outside edge. 1-1. Try with 1 out to play with here. Down 4 in the bottom of the 9th. Too low, and it's 2-1. Evens the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Joe Nathan and the Twins 1 strike away from taking the opener of this series. Kansas City beating Detroit 5-1 there in the 7th at Kauffman Stadium. Full count. Blue Jays continuing to shut out Chicago there in the 5th at U.S. Cellular Field. 5-zip Blue Jays. And the payoff pitch. Choo shoots it back. Joe Nathan again looking in for a 3-2 pitch. And again, Chu stays alive. Jose Morales trying to work Nathan through this 9th inning. Nathan has struck out the first 2. He's gone to a full count here with Chu. And the payoff. Out of play. Seemed like it took him a long time to figure out fastball away, didn't it?
Well, he went fastball in, then he went fastball. You know what? You're going to get a fastball. So just call it and throw it. I mean, it's a 4-run ball game. You've got 2 strikes. You're not going to mess around and walk him on an off-speed pitch. You got to throw a strike here. And he has, and Chu's fouled off about 3 or 4.
18 pitches in the inning for Nathan. Popped up, headed toward the dugout. Creedy gives it a look, but it's out of his reach. And so it will take Joe Creedy at least 20, or Joe Nathan at least 20 pitches to get through this 9th inning. Chu trying to extend the game for the Indians. Nathan's payoff.
He went with a breaking
hammered
ball.
Deep right field. It'll go to the fence. Chu on his way to second base. He'll go in there sliding with a 2-out double.
You know, after he fouled off so many fastballs, Nathan says, all right, I got to take him off of this pitch. Throws the breaking ball down and in, and Chu ropes it down the right field corner. You'll see it stay on the inside part, and watch this. Boom. See how quick he is this year on that pitch down and in. We've seen it a number of times on a number of swings for Chu. So a 2-out double will prolong the inning and give the Indians their 8th hit.
And it will bring Ryan Garco to the plate. Rally caps on. Still a long way to go for the Indians here, though. They need more base runners. Garco 1 for 3 singled his last time up. Went too far on the first pitch slider. One and one to count. Chu, the runner at second base with 2 down. Nathan's 1-1. Way outside.
Well, he's had to throw a lot of pitches to get through this inning. A couple of strikeouts early. Then the Chu at bat where he fouled off a number of pitches before prolonging it. Seemed like he was sharp early, didn't he, in that inning? He looked like he was throwing strikes and sharp, and then he just couldn't put Chu away with the fastball.
Well, they always say sometimes that 27th out is the toughest one to get.
Well, and he's on to just get work because he hasn't pitched since Sunday.
Back out of
They're
play.
fouling off that fastball to stay alive.
Twins looking to go to 8 wins on the year, and that would give 4 of the 5 teams in the division at least 8 wins. Talk about a group all bunched together.
It could stay that way for a while, too.
And the 2-2 to Garco. Missed outside with it, full count. It's the only division in baseball without at least one team in double figures in the win column. That's how bunched up they are. And while that's little comfort to Eric Wedge, despite their slow start, the Indians aren't buried yet in the division, you know. Again, the 3-2 popped him up. Casilla, the second baseman, makes the grab, and the game is over. Minnesota comes in.